Hey guys, it's Bina, and today I want to present to you my guide for leveling up a druid as fast as possible in Season 1 of Diablo 4. So, this is going to be my advice to you as to what I have tested, what I've come up with, and what I find to be the best option for a very smooth season start if you plan on playing a druid. So, as you can see in the background, I have my splits that I did today. I did a little run to the Capstone dungeon, and as you can see, I level up to level 20 in 48 minutes. So it is extremely good early on. I'm using Lightning Storm. Pretty much every single skill and every single core skill for the Druid can be viable for the early game. But Lightning Storm seems to be the winner for me, at least, as far as my testing goes. So my build revolves around Lightning Storm, which has pretty good AoE. It's a channeled skill, so you kind of hold it for a couple seconds, and like the longer you hold it, the more it stacks how many actual lightning bolts are gonna hit the ground. So you hold it for like 3 or 4 casts, and then it's pretty much charged up, and then you can just walk and click, uh, basically just tap the skill, and you can attack faster that way. And as long as you do that once every 6 seconds, you keep the size of your lightning storm to what it is. So as long as you attack at once every 6 seconds, you have a pretty big AOE of lightning coming down and just absolutely annihilating everything that's in its path. So that is what I'm going to be showing you guys today, and we'll cover everything about the build and exactly how you can take advantage of this and have a very smooth season start. So let's go right into the build. So the patch is coming up tomorrow on the 18th, and the season is starting on the 20th. But so everything I say today might change tomorrow. If anything does change, I'll go over the patch notes tomorrow and I'll update my video and update my guide for you guys. But this is something that I have been asked quite a bit as far as like with all the speedruns I've been doing. So here it is. We start with Wind Shear. Wind Shear has a 20% chance to make enemies vulnerable. This is pretty important to increase your damage early on. And then Wind Shear increases your movement speed up to 20%. You can select the Wind Shear grants 3 additional spirit, but you'll move a little slower. I'd say if you're going for a speed run, go for Wind Shear, Fierce Wind Shear. And if you're just going for like a regular playstyle, maybe go with Wild Wind Shear. Then you go into the core skills. What you want to go Lightning Storm, max this out, will increase the size and preserve for 6 seconds after channeling. So like I said, you hold it for a couple seconds, and then it will hold the size for 6 seconds. You can go two ways here. You can go either has a chance to immobilize enemies, or you can go with 1 additional lightning strike. Early on, I'd say go for the additional lightning strike, but eventually you might want to switch to lightning storm, has a chance to immobilize if you are using something like an umbral aspect, for example, or like anything that will take advantage of immobilizing enemies. Or for example, if you plan on staggering bosses in the capstone dungeon, you can switch to this, and it will like stagger him a little bit, right? So this is what you go for first, and then you go down here to Blood Howl. Blood Howl reduces the cooldown of Blood Howl by 1 second, and for every kill you do, and then you also generate 20 spirit. So this is basically a on-demand heal. So it's basically another potion that you have on a cooldown, and it will also give you a bunch of spirit. Then we go down here for Poison Creeper. Poison Creeper is an AoE around you where it will just immobilize every mob in there and poison them, and they will just melt. So very early on, as soon as you unlock this as soon as possible, and then you put Poison Creeper immobilize is increased, and then the poison duration is also increased. So basically, this is like extremely powerful early on, and it is absolutely meta to use this on the Druid as far as this patch goes. And then we go down here for Trample. Trample, we use it. It's a bunch of damage. If you can hit the enemy on the wall, it will do even more damage and stun him. And then you can also gain Spirit when you use it, as well as being a very good movement ability. All right, then for our ultimate skills, when you first unlock the ultimate skills section here, the first thing you'll do, if you are hardcore, I would suggest going for Defiance and Circle of Life and maxing this out. But if not, you could go Petrify. Petrify, basically what this does is it will, every time you kill an enemy that is petrified, it will grant you 25 spirit. And then with our Lightning Storm, you go in a big pack of mobs, you petrify them all, and then you will have like increased critical strike damage and stuff like that. But the main thing you're going for is the grant 25 spirit per kill. So you want to kill a couple of small mobs, focus on the elite, and then keep remembering that you can tap Lightning Storm to attack even faster, and then you'll have basically infinite spirit as long as you're killing stuff with your Lightning Storm while they are petrified. So that's why we go here, and then we have quite a bit of options for our ultimate skills. Have Earth Sign Strength. If you are always healthy, you deal 30% increased damage. Pretty good, right? Storm skills, Perfect Storm here, also another option. Storm skill that you cast grant 1 spirit and deal 15% increased damage when damaging a vulnerable, immobilized, or slowed enemies. So basically, every time that you tap, you gain spirit, and then you also deal increased damage to enemies. But overall, I think this is just worse than this. And there's a couple other options that you can do. If you find the aspect for Earth and Might, you can go with this. But I think Earth Sign Strength is pretty much overall a safe bet with 30% increased damage. Then let's go for our passive. So for our passive, after you've unlocked all of this, you want to go into things like increase the damage of your core skill by 15%. So I've only put in the planner up to level 50. So with 10 points available still to put in here. So this is going to be assuming it's the start of this season, guys, and we don't have all the renown, all the skill points, and everything. So this is just a starter guide, basically. So you do your core skill costs more spirit, but it'll deal increased damage. If you're going hardcore, you want to go definitely for tankiness. So 15% damage reduction, and your non-physical res by 15%. In World Tier 1, this is going to be massive because you don't get the reduction from your resistances from the world tiers, right? You can see there here that I have 2 points in Bloodhowl. Basically, put as many points in here as you want. Increasing the points increases the healing that you get. So this is really good. Again, Poison Creeper is up there. Okay, here. Nature Magic skills deal 12% increased damage against elites. And then Nature Magic skills deal 6% increased damage. So these two here together are just basically boosting the damage of your Lightning Storm. And then Nature Magic skills consume spirit, heal you for 3% of your maximum life. So every time that you tap your Lightning Storm, you will heal for 3%. So this will feel very, very good in the early game. And this is how I get to... oh, I forgot to talk about Spirit Boons. Take 10% reduced damage from elites. You take 10% maximum life. I'm going for hardcore, guys, so keep in mind that this is just for general survivability, feel good. You could select something else like crit, attack speed, or crit damage early on, and it would be fine as well. But I decided to go for maximum life. Fortify for 10% of your maximum life, and you use a defensive skill. And then I go for 2 in here into Overload and Calm Before the Storm. So Calm Before the Storm, you'll hit a bunch of enemies with your Lightning Storms, and you'll proc Petrify way more. By the way, this is not Debilitating Roar here. This is going to be Petrify. Petrified is going to be Poison Creeper and Trample, Bloodhowl. And Overload, dealing lightning damage has a 20% chance to cause the target to emit a static discharge. So basically, this is making your it's improving your clear times basically on bigger packs. So that is it for the boons. And now for the gear. For the gear, I didn't put anything fancy here. Basically, you'll be able to... I've only put anything that you can go get in the codex. And very, very early, you won't have that many mats. So I've only put a couple of them. This is just like straight up the best ones for your, like the best bang for your buck, basically. So basic skill grants 20% damage reduction. It's going to be for 2 seconds from the codex. But this is still pretty good because you're always weaving in Wind Shear and Lightning Storm. On your chest piece, damaging an elite enemy grants you a barrier, absorbing up to a certain amount of damage. So every time you encounter a dangerous enemy, you'll get a barrier. This can happen once every 30 seconds. Pretty good as well for tankiness. Duration of Earthen Bulwark is increased by 6 seconds. You're gonna want this not for general farming, but you're gonna want this when you go and do the capstone dungeon if you want to use Bulwark. So that is why I put this one here. I put Disobedience on my amulet because I want as much armor as possible to be able to sustain in the capstone dungeon. So that is why I put this here. Up to a 20% chance. So, and then this one here, overcharged. This thing hits around the target, but also on the target. So this is not only good for AoE clear, but this is also good for single target. So that is why we use this here. And then core skills, they'll up to 20% increased damage based on your amount of fortify. We're going to get a bunch of fortify. We can get some with trample if we switch from getting spirit to granting fortify instead. We can gain some with every time we use the defensive skills. So we're going to have Blood Howl, and for the Capstone Dungeon, we're going to have Earthen Bulwark as well. And we're going to have Debilitating Roar. So it's going to be really easy to keep up our Fortify. So yeah, that is pretty much it for the farming build. And now I have another planner, which is pretty much the same, but just different skills and a different setup with Storm Strike for more damage reduction. If you want to go into Capstone Dungeon to unlock Tier 3 earlier. So I have both of these links in the description of the video below. Make sure to check my previous video talking about Caldera Gate as the best dungeon to farm early on. This is how I got my very good splits for level 20 and level 25. I still have things to check for after that, but overall my plan is right now, if the season would start in the next hour, I would just do Caldera Gate from level 1 to level 40 maybe. Assuming this is hardcore, obviously. And I am assuming that we cannot go back to the main menu and actually exit game, come back. Like, the servers are going to be packed. You don't know if you might get in a queue or something. So I'm just assuming that in the worst case scenario, you just spam Caldera Gate. You'll get a bunch of loot. You'll get a bunch of resources. You'll get lots of obols. You'll be able to gamble before the Capstone Dungeon for trying to get legendary aspects that might be way, way, way better than what you get in the Codex. So basically, that's what you do to level 40, 45, 50, up to you. And then you go and do your Capstone Dungeon. I swear, I'm telling you guys, if you go and do your Capstone Dungeon at level 50 with this build, it's going to be a breeze. And it's going to feel very, very nice. And you'll feel very, very tanky. I hope you enjoyed the guide. I have the links in the description below. And yeah, if anything changes with the patch, I'll make sure to update it tomorrow and update you guys on what is going to be the best strategy to blast on Druid in Season 1. Have fun, guys, and I hope you have a very, very good start of season, and I'll see you guys in the next one.